Omniscience Regalia Minerva, the all-knowing goddess herself, one of the pioneers of the so-called waifu tax outside Bermuda Triangle. Misaki's final ace unit for the Link Joker arc before she goes 0 wins in the Legion Mate arc, despite having a really strong deck. She's absolutely gorgeous, as she is illustrated by the one and only Tony Taka. In the TCG, she went as far as $40 for the SP version and $20 for the regular version because of the hype and the aforementioned waifu tax. I'm betting you didn't know that there was a typo in Minerva's SP print in the English TCG. Yeah, that one is probably Unleash. Minerva has sleeves, mats, and even a scaled figure made by Kotobukiya, which I have one at home. In this video, we'll break down what makes her great, her skills, and the units she works well with to be able to help you build a deck around her when she arrives in the English version. First, her skill. Her limit break is that when Minerva attacks, she gets the following skill. Pay Soul Blast 3, Counter Blast 1, discard 2 cards from your hand, and at the end of the battle you may pay that cost, and the Vanguard will stand with an additional 5,000 power and draw 2 cards. She has a main phase ability to Soul Blast 3 so she can get 5,000 power. And finally, she cross-rides with Regalia of Wisdom Angelica for the 13k base. Her restand condition is absolutely the easiest one to fulfill, to be honest. The mechanic is similar to Dragonic Descendant, where if you heal during the drive check, you can still restand because you have already acquired the skill. It's probably the easiest and simplest restand mechanic so far. It does not require an attack to not hit. It doesn't need battle requirements, drive check requirements, personas, locking your own rear guards. It doesn't even have discard restriction, so you can discard any card to pay for the cost. It's very easy, very simple. It's a guarantee that you'll restand every turn. Regalia of Wisdom Angelica. She's a break ride unit that requires you to pay Soul Blast 3 to activate. She gives the standard 10,000 power and allows you to pick 2 among the top 4 cards of your deck, and the deck will be shuffled afterwards. It follows Misaki's theme of controlling her fate. Angelica is a good break ride unit, but I think there's a better break ride unit for Minerva. Oracle Queen Himiko. On break ride, she gives the standard 10,000 power and gives 5,000 power to 2 of your rear guards. She also gives the Vanguard a new ability that when it attacks, you can pay Soul Blast 3 to draw 2 cards, then put 1 card from your hand to the soul. The reason why I prefer Himiko over Angelica is because she allows any break riding unit to become a finisher by giving them a Soul Blast ability during the battle phase. You can extend the number of attacks by calling Melissa and Chamomile. Speaking of which, Witch of Frogs Melissa and Witch of Ravens Chamomile. They have the same effect that when you send them from the soul to the drop zone, you can pay Counter Blast 1 to call them to the field instead, with an additional 3,000 power. And these are your core offensive units. The goal is to break ride Minerva, launch multiple attacks using Melissa and Chamomile, with some added pressure from the Vanguard who can restand after it attacks. Multiple attacks is part of what Genesis is doing right now, but Minerva just raised it up a notch. So this is how you do Infinite Hell Genesis version. Disclaimer: this combo is almost impractical and difficult to do, but this is just to show how much potential Minerva has. You break ride Minerva onto Himiko, you have 5 open counter blasts, and enough soul with 4 Chamomile and perhaps 2 units to power up. So you set up the field with 11k or 12k beaters in the front row, add some boosters as well, then begin the battle phase. Attack 1 and 2 is from the front row rear guards, usually to remove intercepts. Don't boost if you don't need to. Then attack with Minerva. Use Himiko's skill to Soul Blast 3 and call 2 Chamomile from among them. After the battle, restand and attack with the 2 Chamomiles again. Then Minerva attacks for the second time, activate Himiko's skill once again, Soul Blast 3, and among the cost, call the other 2 Chamomile. Then finally, deliver the last 2 attacks with Chamomile. Boost them if you can. That's a total of 9 soul, which is easy to do, but your challenge is getting the right units to the soul. I know. This gimmicky strategy is pretty much dead if your opponent takes it at 4 damage, or is a cross-ride unit. Well, in that case, it's much better to call Chamomile with Melissa so you can get the boost. What I'm trying to say is that you should adjust accordingly depending on the game state. Sometimes Infinite Hell is good, and sometimes Magic Number Shenanigans is good. What I like about this strategy is that you can adjust. You always have options, and options are always a good thing. For me, what makes Minerva so amazingly good is that her Soul Blast requirement is the least among the Genesis boss cards. At 3 soul, she already becomes a threat. That's not difficult to do in Genesis, and in fact, that's the minimum amount of soul you'll get in your very worst day. Because of this, some players consider adding damage givers so they can activate the limit break early to exert pressure by trying to get criticals or heals during drive check and denying their opponent their own heals. They can also use this opportunity to refill the field or just load up on their soul for another restand the next turn. There is less dependency to break ride units first to fill the soul, as Minerva easily meets the requirement. Fortuna and Yatagarasu are good backups because of their battle phase abilities. They will allow you to pull off the multi-battle sequence without Minerva, and they go well with your support cards. Grappa and Valencia are very useful as they fill the soul, and they also increase your chances of checking drive triggers during drive check. Be careful as you're prone to decking out, so use them wisely. Here are some good tech options. Twilight Regalia has parries. When she is sent from the soul to the drop zone, your Vanguard gains this ability until the end of the turn. When it attacks another Vanguard, you can retire one of your opponent's rear guards for free. It stacks with multiple copies of Hesperis, so if you Soul Blast 2 copies, you will get 2 abilities and you will be able to retire 2 units on attack to the Vanguard, of course. So if you give this to Minerva, she can retire at least 2 units during the battle phase. This is good for sniping key back row rear guards of the opponent because most likely, you will be forced to attack the front row intercepts anyway. Ordained Owl powers up your Angelica or Minerva in case you didn't get the break right. In the TCG, Ordained Owl returns the copies at the bottom of the deck, but in Zero, the copies are removed from play. So it does not really help in your deck out problems. Despite this, Ordained Owl is still good utility as it makes use of the Angelicas or Minervas in the drop zone. Again, be careful not to deck out, and hope not to soul charge the damn Sentinel. Oh, if I had $1 for every time it happened. So after this long ass video, here's my summary. Minerva is the very definition of brains and brawn. Her restand ability is among the most consistent of all restanding Vanguards so far, but she is held back by the general weakness of Genesis to control and rush. Building this deck will be a challenge as it has a lot of high rarity units. If I were you, I'd save up materials now. Minerva and Angelica are the start of the Regalia support that will further come in the Legion era, where Minerva can make a good backup for CEO Yggdrasil. I'm excited to see Minerva in English. At the same time, I'm not because I don't have enough materials. I'm also excited about how the Legion mechanic will fit into Vanguard Zero. Now, I hope you learned something from this video. If you have any feedback, please let me know. I will be extra happy if you like, share, and subscribe. And finally, if you think a card or a mechanic deserves a spotlight video, please let me know. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you soon. Special shoutouts to my friends Daryl and Jason.